so sensitive. Penguins are so sensitive. Penguins are so sensitive to mine.
You guys hear me? Great. Well, it is wonderful to be here with everybody. Wayne, I want to thank you for your leadership. Let you know I'm wearing my pin. I can also tell you there is nobody who is more enthusiastic, more of an ambassador for the IADA brand than Wayne Starling. Reports have it that he was seen last night at a tattoo parlor having it stamped on his lower back. I, for one, will be at the pool later looking to verify. I also want to thank Zipporah for her tremendous leadership of this organization. I can tell you we're all going to miss you and thank you for your hard work, and welcome and thank Phil for stepping up to the plate. Now, for me, it's truly great to be here today because I've been asked to talk about my favorite subject, me, as well as JSSI, of course, and our transformational journey. My career has had many twists and turns. I started my career in the telecom industry. I then moved into cybersecurity, and today, of course, I have the great pleasure of being in the business aviation industry. I thought I would be here for 2 or 3 years. As a shareholder of JSSI, my plan was to step in, get the business pointed in the right direction, move on to the next deal. That was 12 years ago. What can I say? Like so many of us, I fell in love with this business, the enormous opportunity I saw before us, but most of all, the people I've met along the way. And I can tell you there's something unique about business aviation that does not exist anywhere else. There's a level of camaraderie that exists here which makes this so fun. Coming here every year, for example, it's like coming back and seeing old friends from college, you know, and then, especially in Vegas, it very quickly turns into like a former college experience. With this thought in mind, I want to just acknowledge my dear friend and key JSSI partner, Gal Peleg, and all of our friends at JetSetter who wanted to be here and wanted to be with us today but could not due to the atrocities perpetrated against innocent Israelis just 9 days ago. So Gal, I want to say to you, I want to say to our friend Zipporah and her family, our hearts and thoughts are with you and your families at this very moment. So many people in this room were just with us a few months ago in Tel Aviv for the 8th annual conference, and I'm really hopeful that we can all be together in Tel Aviv for the 9th annual Tel Aviv Aviation Conference. Now back to our journey. For 25 years, JSSI focused exclusively on hourly cost maintenance programs to business aviation. We did one thing. Today, business is far more diverse, far more dynamic, and I could think of no other group who I'd rather share this story with and share some of my insights and experiences within the IADA group. There's no group that is more entrepreneurial than the dealers and the brokers. I know everyone in this room has to wake up each and every day, go out, and figure out ways to diversify your business and constantly go out and make something happen, something from nothing. That is hard to do. So it is my deep hope that there's a couple of nuggets in here that you can take away for your own business and apply it. So as you can see, we've had a busy journey over these last few years. So my objective today is to talk about 3 pillars of the JSSI business, which can be applied across the board, and that's innovation, perception, and vision. Starting with innovation. Question that you must ask yourself is, how do you continue to innovate and bring new services to market? And I think we all understand this intrinsically, but the most important thing we can all do is listen. Listen to our customers. An example that comes to mind from my own experience much earlier in my career, going back now to 2004, 2005, I was running a small business in the telecom space. When I tell you this was a shitty business, I can't even stress it enough. We made shitty businesses look like great businesses. And one of our customers, funny enough, we were a sub to a large contractor. One of our customers was the TSA, the Transportation Security Administration. One of the key reasons we're all in business today. And it was at a meeting with the TSA in 2004. They asked me a question. They said, hey, our whole team is using the Palm Tungsten. Now, I don't know if any of you remember that. This was sort of a device that came right after the Palm Pilot. One of the early smartphones or mobile computing devices. And they said, can you provide antivirus software for our Palm Tungstens? And like any of you salespeople in the audience know, you say, yes, of course. And I then went out, my team, we went out and we looked for antivirus software for mobile devices. It didn't exist at the time. And so, we did what any entrepreneurial, thoughtful person would do, is we took a hard look at the industry and we said, look, the government feels that these devices are vulnerable. There's a need for security. So we looked harder, nobody else was doing it, and we said, hey, let's do it ourselves. And so we started developing the first security applications for mobile devices, with the thesis, mobile computing devices will be subject to the same threats as your computer. This led to the formation of S-Mobile Systems, which was where I was prior to joining JSSI. This is 2005 now. 2 years later, I receive a call from the Deputy Chief of Staff of the White House and found myself 24 hours later sitting in the West Wing. 3 months later, we found our security software sitting on every device in the most secure office in the world, the White House. And I learned something. What did I learn? I learned that I was now viewed as an expert on mobile security. And my team were viewed as experts on mobile security, which led me to the conclusion that I carry with me today is, why not us, right? We had no background or experience in this. We took the leap. Why not us? And that has helped me so many times on our journey at JSSI. Remember him? So back to innovation and the second point surrounding innovation, right? Identify and solve a problem. So we talked a little earlier, for the first 25 years of our existence, JSI did one thing, right? We provided PBH programs, hourly cost maintenance programs. Here was one of our challenges, right? Maintenance expenses go up. Turn times are always a struggle. So we had a problem. The problem was things are too expensive and they take too long. So what could we do to reduce our costs and downtime? This led to the creation of JSSI Parts and Leasing. It started out as an idea, and today it's a business which is a huge driver for our overall business. We have 100,000 lines of inventory. We've torn down 40 aircraft. We have 65 engines in our engine leasing pool. There's no deep insights here, just a team that's open to trying new things and investing in ideas, not just talking about them. The next point around innovation is identify opportunities that are accretive to your business. We've got several examples of this. For example, the acquisition of Conklin and DeDecker. Today, they've become a channel for us to use our data to create more value. As a company that was selling parts, providing maintenance programs, what could be more valuable than having visibility into future maintenance events for a wide cross-section of tails? So we got into the maintenance tracking space through the acquisition of two great platforms, Sierra Trax and Traxol. Now, we invested heavily in those acquisitions, but the cross-selling benefits have been awesome. So how does 1 + 1 = 3? And that is a key driver for all of us in how we operate the business day to day. Now, this next topic I could really talk about a long time, and that's failure. Failure is so critical to success. If you don't fail, it just means you really haven't, tried anything. And I can tell you, we have tried a lot of things, and we've probably failed, in some cases more than we've succeeded. A couple of things that come to mind when I think about failure. Last year, I had a great opportunity to do a fireside chat with Jed Hoyer, the president of the Cubs, an organization that knows a little something about failure. One of the things that Jed talked about that just resonated with me so much, he talked about his young prospects in the minor leagues. He said the ones that are really distinguishing themselves, they will deliberately push those prospects to higher levels within the minors, within their organization, before they're ready, because he wants them to fail. He wants them to fail so that they can see and that they can come back from failure, that they can experience it and have the confidence that they could come back. He talked about resiliency being a muscle. So, for those, and he also talked about for those that experience no challenges on their way to the top, when they experience failures at the major league level on the biggest stage, oftentimes they never bounce back and it's over. So he wants them to experience this adversity along the way. For us at JSSI, some examples. We talked a little bit about how we've gone vertical, right? We've talked about how we've vertically integrated, a very overused term. Well, our brilliant strategy, my brilliant strategy, I will own this, was we're not going to go vertical. We were going to go horizontal. And we'd spent 25 years developing and pricing and administering PBH programs. So the idea was, great, let's port this over to the commercial airlines. Great idea. Well, I can tell you, and I won't spend much time on this, but we dipped our toe in the commercial waters. It was freezing, okay? We lost our toe. Other adventures. We acquired a business called Trackware, actually a great small business out of the Isle of Wight. I hate to say the best things that came out of that relationship were got to take a hovercraft ride. I ate at the Codfather several times. Excellent. But it wasn't a platform that was a great fit for us. They spent their time in the helicopter space, and we found very quickly that we weren't getting traction cross-selling. It didn't resonate with our customers. So within a year, we decided to divest the business because it wasn't working, right? You've got to fail fast if you want to continue to be able to fund your growth into the future. So with that, let's talk a little bit about market perception. And one of the things that we've worked really hard at over the years is changing the perception of JSSI, in the industry. And talking recently, I've heard it all. From when I first started 12 years ago, we were called, the ugly sister compared to the manufacturers and the OEM programs, the redheaded stepchild in the industry. And it sort of made me think of advice that my father had given me when I was a kid. And it was very simple advice, and in hindsight, really great advice which carries with me. The advice was, others will see you as you see yourself. And in our early years, to survive, what JSSI did was really focus on, older aircraft, higher buy-ins, less creditworthy operators. It makes sense, right? That was our lane, and that began to permeate our organization, that this is the segment of the market where we could be successful. And then we started to feel like this is where we belong. Change truly has to start from within. And we demonstrated to ourselves that we could add value, enroll larger aircraft, younger fleets, and we began to have some success and start feeling better about ourselves. Our image of ourselves began to change. And as our image began to change, I think magically the industry and the market perception began to change. And we still have quite a bit of work to do, and we still don't always get it right. But I can tell you, in 2010, the average age of an aircraft on one of our programs was 20 years. Today, it's 12. We've increased the number of aircraft on a program by 3x in this time. So, it's critical to see yourself the way you want others to view you and your business. And it may sound obvious, but to transform an organization, you need the right people in the right jobs. And we've worked really hard to combine deep industry experience and expertise with high-quality performers across the spectrum of industries. We want to surround ourselves with the best athletes, and they bring their own unique experiences to the business. They've done things a different way, and that's okay. We love that. We embrace that, and it's allowed us to really transform how we think about things and how we do things by bringing such a wide cross-section of experiences and perspectives to our business. So from there, we ask ourselves, right, how do we think about the future? And what's the vision, for the future? A few months ago, we've launched a financing business. We're now financing aircraft. Excited for the opportunity to work with everybody here in that capacity. We had little experience financing aircraft before. So what do? We go out and we bring out in the industry expertise. We couple it with our own experience. We bundle it with our existing products, 1 + 1 = 3. And we're trying new things. This week, we're launching an e-commerce platform, calling it Parts Hub, and we're excited about it. It's a new chapter in how we do business. And so we're constantly looking to change. We're constantly looking to evolve. So with that, I just want to say how wonderful it's been having an opportunity to share some of our experiences. I hope there's some lessons in here that can be applied to your own business. We've worked closely with IADA and its predecessor for many years, dating back to 1991. And I can tell you this organization truly sets the standard of how you operate and treat customers. It's been an inspiration to us in how we treat our own customers and how we go about our business every day. This industry is better for having IADA here. It's synonymous with integrity. And there's a reason that 40% of the world's transactions or more run through this organization and billions of dollars in volume every year. I can tell you JSSI would not be here without IADA and all of its members. So a deep thank you. And we'd like to announce today, as a token of our profound appreciation, that we'll be awarding an Innovation for Business Aviation scholarship in collaboration with IADA Foundation to promote the next generation of entrepreneurs in business aviation. Really proud and excited to be here, very grateful for the opportunity, and happy at this time. I think we were going to open it up to questions if there are any.